am so excited for today's video. I am going to show you some tricks how to spice up your chord progression in Logic Pro, even if you can't play piano, even if you are still learning music theory. These tools are awesome and they're in Logic Pro. Now, I have to warn you, some people are not gonna like these tricks, and that's okay. Everybody has a right to their opinion, but I didn't invent these tricks, okay? So don't shoot the messenger. I'm just showing you all the tools that are available to you. And I get excited about new technology. I love technology. That's why I'm a music tech content creator, because I love it. Anyways, let's jump into it. So if you open up a new Logic Pro project and then you click Option G, this window will pop up, and basically we want the chord track. So I'm gonna uncheck everything and just make sure that the chord track is checked off. Now I'm gonna go here and I'm going to decide, before I click this plus button, I'm gonna decide what key I want the song to be in. And for this one, I want it to be in C sharp minor, just like that key. You can pick whatever key you want over here. So now what you can do is you can actually click this plus button and you can start entering your own chords if you want to. But if you don't know what chord progression to start with, what you can do is you can actually right click here or press control click here and go over to chord progressions, and then you can pick one of these chord progressions. And I'm going to start with this one. I just like this chord progression, okay? So now if I want, I can just drag this down here and we have all of the MIDI notes here. This is another secret Logic Pro tip that's not really that secret, but I think a lot of people don't know about it, is there's actually a lot of stock Logic sounds that are like not used because they're kind of hidden, but they're not really. So if you go over here to library and then you click all sounds and then you go down, you have a bunch of more like packs that you can check out. I really like this keyboard collection. And then if I go over to piano and then process, I love this mellow vibes piano. So here's what these chords sound like. I'm sorry, how beautiful is that piano? And it's just a stock Logic sound. Let's finish listening. Okay, so you can go ahead and use that chord progression just like that. But let's say you want to spice it up. Well, one of the things that you can do to kind of like change up the chord progression a bit is to use some non-diatonic chords. Now, if you don't know music theory, if you don't know what diatonic chords to use, don't worry. There are some resources here in Logic Pro that could help you. So if you click on the Notes tab and then you click here, you're actually able to use this to help you. So what I did is I just wrote this prompt here. And I'm actually going to use the ChatGPT because I linked ChatGPT with Logic here. And I'm going to say, if my chord progression is A, F sharp minor, C sharp minor, E, what could I use as a non-diatonic chord? I'm just going to click enter and it's going to give me some options. So I'm going to insert this here. So the first thing you can use is the G major. So what we can do, hold down option to actually repeat that and copy and paste it. So just to show you guys again, I just clicked on it, hold down option on my keyboard and then drag and then paste it over here. Okay, cool. Now what I can do is, because my scissor tool is on my right mouse clicker, I can just click here, bam, and I cut it. And I want to cut it here too, because I want to add another chord here. You can actually just group these so it's easier to pull down. So I can do group chord and now it's all grouped here. Now I want to try adding this G major. And if you want this setting so you can have the right mouse button is assignable to a tool, which would be the scissor tool, you can just press Command comma, go to editing, and then click here, right mouse button is assignable to a tool. Okay, cool. So now let's see. I want to change one of these chords. So let's try adding the G major. So I could just double click this, G, bam. Now I'm just going to drag this down and we can hear how that sounds. Another thing we could do is we can add it before the C sharp if you wanted to try doing that. So I could just cut here and put the G here, put the C sharp minor here, and we can see how this sounds. Pretty cool. So that's using this flat 7 chord G major, and it also tells you how it works. Okay, let's try another one. Let's try borrowing the chord from A minor, which would be D minor. So I'm going to actually put D minor here. I'm going to put D sharp here. Now I'm going to drag this down and let's see how it sounds. So that is one way to spice up these chord progressions. Now let's talk about some other things you can do. So let's go with this one. I'm going to double click here and I'm actually going to make this bigger. We don't need this anymore. And I'm actually going to delete the root note because we don't need these here right now. I usually like the root note to be played by a bass instrument. So I'm going to press Command A to select all and then Shift arrow key down to just select the root notes. And then I'm going to press delete because I don't need those. And now what I want to do is I want to add a pedal tone. So a pedal tone is a repeating note, usually on the tonic. So we know that the tonic is C sharp. I'm going to add a pedal tone C sharp at the top here. Let me just press Option, drag this up C sharp. I'm just going to copy and paste it a few times to see how it sounds. Let's just see. So that already added a cool element. Another thing that we can do is we could mess around with the voicing. One way that you can do that is to just move things up an octave or down an octave. And a quick way to do that in Logic Pro, Shift, Option, arrow key up, or Shift, Option, arrow key down. So we go Shift, Option, arrow key up, Shift, Option, arrow key down. Also, quick reminder, if you have my Logic Pro ebook, you can see all of these by going into section 5, piano roll tricks. Click here, and then here's like all of these shortcuts that I'm using. And right now it's 40% off with code BOO, and I'll link it in the description. Okay, so I'm gonna mess around with some of these voicings. So I'm actually gonna move maybe this one up. We can see that there's also kind of a pedal tone here. So maybe I'll like spread some of these out a bit. Okay, let's hear how this sounds. I don't like that down low. We can even mess around with it a bit more. What if we move this up higher and maybe this one up higher? Let's hear how this sounds. You can mess around with it to see what you like. I'm going to keep it here. So now another thing that we can do is we can actually mess around with creating a melody in here. And this is like pretty easy to do. You don't have to overthink it. You can just use your ear. Again, I like to use the scissor tool. So I'm going to use the scissor tool here. I'm going to zoom in just a bit and I'm going to chop up some of these. And I usually like to make a melody. I don't know. I just kind of mess around. So I'm going to like chop up some of these notes. And just kind of hear how it sounds. And something easy that you can do to make it just simple is to just kind of make it pretty repetitive. Like it doesn't have to be that crazy. We can just honestly just repeat that again. So pretty and so simple. And maybe we can add just a little bit more on this last one to like change it up a little bit. We'll delay this. Let's hold that because I kind of like that. Let's see how it sounds. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, we just mess around with it. So you can even add a few more melodies, maybe in another part. Let's see. Let's try. This might sound bad, but I don't really know. And we're going to add that again. Why not? They make it so easy. So fun and so cool. Okay, now what I can do is after you come up with a melody that you like, you can actually make this sound more human by pressing Command A, going over to Functions, going over to MIDI Transform, going over to Humanize, and now you can press Select and Operate a few times, which is going to slightly vary the quantize and the velocity to make it sound a bit more human. So here we go. Oop, the first notes have to be right on the grid. Watching you take my breath away, it's the same old thing, but I'm suddenly different. And you follow me in and you hold the door, and I'm suddenly different. So fun. Wow. Well, I hope these little tricks help you create more stuff and just have fun creating. And don't let the music elitists tell you that you can't make fun music. I've been making cute little pop songs since I was 12, and YOLO. You only live once. So have fun creating. I really hope this video was helpful. Please subscribe to my channel. My Logic Pro ebook is on sale right now, and I will see you next time. Hearts!